Okay, so next clip we got is Baba talking about fighting Togan. Now, Togan is Joe Rogan, and I guess somebody told him if he could beat up Joe Rogan. He said yes. So let's watch this clip here.
We're doing this podcast, and at the end he goes, all right, 3 questions. And he goes, how would you do in a fight against Joe Rogan if kicks weren't allowed? And I went, excuse me? You know, he was car show. And I went, what? And he goes, but if kicks weren't allowed, and I go, well, so in a boxing match? And he's like, no. And I go, wait, why wouldn't kicks be allowed? He's like, well, because Rogan's a really good kicker. And I went,
look, that's true. That's true. He's I think Taekwondo master. I mean, there's a bunch of clips of Joe Rogan slamming the bag.
Many people don't know how good of a fighter Joe Rogan actually is, and a lot of people were shocked when they saw this viral video saying Joe Rogan's leg kicks sound like gunshots. Nice. Rogan has been training martial arts for 40 years. He has black belts in Taekwondo, karate, and 2 black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's even a video of Joe Rogan knocking out a guy in 1987 with a spinning back kick. He was a state champion in Taekwondo 4 years in a row, U.S. Open Taekwondo champion in 3 different weight divisions, and got 2nd place in the National Taekwondo Championship.
He's also shown like GSP, how to throw a kick effectively and all that stuff.
Come from Taekwondo, is all the Olympic athlete like no exactly you do it in a different ways, right? Well, but man, I never seen anybody hit as hard. Like, I don't care if it's a punch, like, I never see a blow from a human being that hard. Man, I remember the bag when you were working in, it was a freaking hole almost in the bag. It was like a curves in the bag, like with your footprint in it. I'm like, it's completely insane, man.
He was on the UFC games. That doesn't have to do anything with it. But look, I think if you get rid of Joe Rogan's leg kicks, yeah, that will be a problem for Joe not throwing them anymore. And also considering that Brendan is like twice his size, I think Joe's gonna have a big problem. Let's be realistic here. I don't think Joe will beat up Brendan. I just don't think so. Honestly, honest truth, TBH. Don't think so.
Right. I said, dude, nobody loves Joe Rogan more on this earth than me. I absolutely adore Joe Rogan.
Ask Joe that question.
I look Joe's, you know, my North Star. He's the best, one of the best human beings I've ever met.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
I said, but you got to realize, dude, when you ask that question, you might as well, that's like me asking you, how would you do in stand-up compared to Joe Rogan? And you're an open micer and Joe's a professional. He goes, what do you mean? I go, can Joe kick? Absolutely, dude. For a guy who's never competed professionally, he can kick like a motherfucker. I mean, if you put him against any celebrity out there, he's gonna beat the shit out of him. Black belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't think he has.
Look, Joe, I don't think he's afraid of fighting anybody, but I think nowadays, he would say, yeah, like, I mean, he even said like Jake Paul will beat him in a boxing match.
But you're still doing kickboxing.
Yeah, I do everything.
Do you think you could still throw down? Like, if it had to happen? Like, if Jake Paul called you out?
Well, he'd probably fuck me up.
Really?
He's a really good boxer. He's a good boxer.
What if it was kickboxing? He doesn't really know how to kickbox.
When I was a younger man and I had good knees, I could be kickboxing people. But I could barely get through a workout without being in pain now. There's a big difference between maintaining and working out and then being able to train for a fight.
Yeah. So you think, interesting.
Like being able to train for a fight, your body would break down.
A long time ago, Joe wanted to fight Blade, Wesley Snipes, right?
I heard rumors about a fight with you and Wesley Snipes.
But it didn't happen. It was supposed to happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I wish man, people ask me about that. I was like, man, Joe Rogan, like, because you're a comedian.
That being said, I think Joe would be truthful on what his response would be if he would be asked this question, right? And he'll say like, of course, like, Brendan's gonna beat me up. Look at how big he is.
He has any wrestling, doesn't matter. He's jiu-jitsu, kicks, I don't know how his boxing is, doesn't matter. Like, in that like regular civilian aspect, monster.
Yep.
I said, you got to realize though, I was ranked top 10 in the world
heavyweight
as a professional. I said, so it's just different. And he goes, and even after saying all, he goes, how would you do? I go, Well, I'd beat the shit out of him, dude. I said, but that's not even impressive.
He's also 57. He's also
no, but even if he wasn't
6 weight classes
but no,
below,
none of that matters. Even if he was 21 in his prime,
if Joe was able to use his kicks, maybe he would able to throw a missile at him and kind of stun Brendan. But even still, though, you're fighting a guy like Brendan. He's big. He's a big dude, right? He can grapple, he can do jujitsu, he can strike, he's a Golden Gloves. Apparently I heard that was kind of cool. But I mean, that's all I gotta say. Like, well, let me know what you guys think about this. I honestly think that Brandon could beat him up. I don't know why the subreddit is putting this. Do they think that Joe's gonna beat him up? So let me know what you guys think about this. I would like to know who would win in a fight, Brandon or Joe Rogan. I honestly think that Brandon is just he's just too big for him, honestly. Let's just be honest here.